So, a lot of guys are always asking me, like, Clean, how do you do the cool, like, blind fire, like, lean peek? So, what I would recommend is what you do is you just try and practice on any 90-degree angle. And what you do is you basically square up 45 degrees on the corner, you blind fire around, make sure you're clear. Let's try and, like, touch the other side of the wall with your muzzle, because, again, they're only going to see your arms here. And as soon as you feel like, okay, you got enough clearance, you just let go of blind fire, and then you ADS. And you get this nice, tight angle where you get a perfect aim and lean in combination with your muzzle. And so, you know, as I kind of walk around the map, if I ever come across a right side peak, you know, anytime, if it's a doorway or anything, if it's on the right side, I always go up 90 degrees. I'm not going flat up against the wall like this. I'm walking up to the corner 45 degrees like a line, just like this. I'm walking right up to it like this. I stop. I find my distance. Okay, so this isn't actually quite good enough, so I got to step a little bit more forward. Okay, this is good. And what I can do is I can shine my light, right? And when you shine your light down a hallway and somebody sees that, all they see is a huge lens flare, so they think you're peeking. Worst case scenario is you get shot in the arms. Then what you do, say that light's on, as soon as you're good and you got this nice angle and your weapon's clear enough, again, you want to try and, like, imagine like you're tapping the corner of that wall with your muzzle. And then as soon as you're ready, you let go of blind fire and you aim, just like that. And you can go back too. But what it requires you is you have to let go of blind fire. The second you let go, ADS and lean at the same time. Don't blind fire and then lean and then ADS, because then you're going to show your face and get yourself killed. You blind fire and then in combination at the same time, ADS, lean. It helps a lot for finding campers around corners and shit. A lot of time you can even pepper some shots down that way too, get them to fire back, make them think you're peeking, and you know they'll start pre-firing you. And then when you're ready, you swap over, and again you let go of blind fire and then you lean at the same time. I've killed a lot of people doing this, and it works really, really well. And it's probably the safest way to clear a corner and gain information potentially without actually having to expose your face and risk getting shot in the face. So like now we're gonna we'll go like roll over to dorms here, and I'll show you like how I usually approach dorms for the most part. So normally, okay, you make your approach. You're near ice cream right here, south side of dorms. Usually you can choose what door you want to go in. Most of the time I'll always go first, because getting the clearance on the stairs and right there where the railing blocks you isn't going to work out well with the blind fire. So you get up here, I stand next to the door, I open the door, I step, I try and make sure I get my angle. Okay, I'm good, I got a lot of clearance. I'm going to shine my light, maybe put a couple shots down there if I think somebody's right there. And then as soon as I'm ready to peek, let go of blind fire, ADS. Sometimes it'll kind of clip into the wall and kind of prevent you from aiming. But again, once you get up to the corner, this is bad. You don't want this, right? See how I'm like not fully cleared in with the gun? You want to make sure that the gun's all the way in there. And again, you're trying to like tap the side of the wall with your muzzle. Then once you're good, lean, aim, and you clear left to right or right to left. And you just keep it right there and you get this nice perfect lean. Maybe there's a guy camping in here. I'll put my muzzle in here. It's clear. All right, lean and peek. Clear. Worst case scenario, if he sees that light and the gun's in there, he's going to shoot you in the arms. And that's the worst thing that'll happen. Sometimes you might have to be ready. Like, so say if I go up and I blind fire, he's right here, he starts shooting, he might push me. I might need to let go and back up and start shooting him like this, right? Sometimes you don't just want to sit there and with your gun in the doorway like an idiot and have him push you, and then you're all like standing like this sideways to him and you get shot in the face. So then when I go to the dorm stairs here, it's the same fucking thing. Boom, 90 degrees. Clear, aim, clear. Good, move up, next position. Essentially, like, that's how you generally want to clear with the blind fire every time around a right side angle. Sadly, you can only do that on one side, but luckily there's a lot of right side angles in the game, so you can do that pretty often. It would be wonderful if we could swap shoulders and blind fire on the other side. Again, I'll do it right here. What I'll do right here is I'll actually crouch and maybe lean into it a little bit, right? And then I'll, you know, do the same thing. But again, it's kind of hard when you can't get like right up on it and see how close your weapon is from conflicting. But if you kind of get a good idea, you can kind of understand like exactly where your muzzle's pointing. Like, okay, my light's good. I can swap and aim now and clear just like that, right? So eventually you'll actually have a hyper awareness as to where your muzzle's pointing at all times, to where you don't really need the wall anymore. You can just kind of like walk up, blind fire, okay, lean, clear, and it just comes really naturally because you'll know exactly how far away from the core you need to be in order to make sure you get that proper transition from the blind fire to the aiming while leaning. I mean, I use it all the time. I don't really see a lot of other people do this. The only other streamer I ever see do anything similar is Smoke. He does the same thing all the time, if you ever watch his stream. But most people are always just like 80 strafing and stuff like that, which works too and is really beneficial. But I prefer blind fire because there's still a much less chance I'll get shot in the face. If I'm using AD strafe to say maybe like, you know, peek this, like I could still potentially get shot here, right? If I'm just AD peeking, if the guy just times the shot well, one tap, I'm dead. But with this, I get up on the corner. I got a lot of clearance. I still can't get shot in the face. Shine my light down at him. Maybe he starts shooting. He doesn't. All right, lean and peek, and I can clear. and the great thing is when you do that with a flashlight, they cannot see the difference between a blind fire and a lean. It looks exactly the same to them. They cannot tell the difference. And so when you're shining that light around a corner initially, it's going to fuck them up. And they think you're peeking and they'll start shooting. And as soon as they stop, you just swap over to the lean. And they, like what they see down the hallway is the light in the same exact position. The light didn't move at all. One thing I forgot to mention through that entire description of how to blind fire and stuff is how you should bind your blind fire key. You can bind it to whatever you want as long as it's not Alt-S. Because when it's Alt-S or Alt-W for your overhead, you can't move in WASD while blind firing, which is incredibly important while making sure you get the right angle on your blind fire every time. Because on the default command, you can't move at all when you're blind firing it. You're literally just stuck there with your arms out looking like an idiot. So make sure you rebind it. I personally put my blind fire on V just because it feels naturally. And if I want to do overhead blind fire, just shift V. So, you know, I can still walk around. I can still WASD. I can still blind fire from both sides. I never really use the overhead blind fire. There's not a lot of situations where it becomes useful. But the right side blind fire here is incredibly useful. And the best way to use it is to bind it to a specific hotkey that's outside of Alt-S or Alt-W or any kind of combination key that prevents you from moving while blind firing. Hopefully this awesome blind fired fucking floss technique that I've taught you guys today helps you survive more raids and slay more bodies and be more tactical in your Tarkov raids on your day-to-day basis and stuff. So might do more gameplay tutorials like this in the future and show you guys other little tips and tricks that I do as I play Escape From Tarkov, best FPS game of all time. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.